music with my bro. Willing to dig it, yes or no? Here we go on with the show, the Hear Me Out Bro podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 36 of the Hear Me Out Bro podcast. I'm Eric, and I'd like to introduce my brother Clark.
Ahoy!
If you'd like to listen along to the songs in the episode, you can find all our playlists by searching for at HMOBP on YouTube. You can find all our playlists there of past episodes. You can also find our podcast episodes there. If you'd like to shoot us an email, give us any questions, comments, critiques, you can reach out to us at hearmeoutbropodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to follow us on Facebook, we have a Facebook page, the HMOB, H-Mob. If you want to become a part of the HMOB, just follow us there on Facebook, and you'll get updates and posts and
goofy stuff, memes,
etc. This week is Shark Week, Spring Break Edition. Clark is going to take us on a deep dive and turn us onto the band Shark in the Water.
Yes.
So, turn it over to Clark.
Yeah, so I have some history with this band. I'll get more into their lore later on, but I just want to talk about how I was first introduced to this band. It ties into like part of why I love them so much, because I like a lot of weird bands. If bands from other countries or other places come anywhere near me, I like to go see them live, go support them, buy merch, etc. So I was with some friends going to see a Mongolian heavy metal band at this tiny club in San Francisco. And the opening band, clearly a three-piece because it was a tiny stage, and they had the drum kit and the bass and the guitar set up. The logo of the band, like neither me nor my friends had heard of this band, and we could have checked them out, but we didn't. And it was like, okay, or maybe it wasn't even announced, I can't remember, but for whatever reason, my first introduction to this band was looking at the front of their bass drum, and I was like, oh man, this could go one of two ways. Because a band called Shark in the Water, it's like there are a lot of like thrash metal bands that do like shark stuff, and they take it like seriously, and they're all aggro and stuff. Yeah, so like an aggro thrash metal band called Shark in the Water that like takes themselves way too seriously, like isn't going to be that fun. And I was like, there's a chance these guys like might not take themselves seriously, and it could be really cool because like it was technically a folk metal band that I was going to see. They were the headliner, and it's like folk metal's such a weird niche genre that it's like they get kind of lumped in with a bunch of other stuff. So I've seen a lot of weird bands open for bands that I love. Anyway, long story short, we see these guys come in from the side of the stage, and all three of them were wearing really crappy, like not cheap, but just like really cartoony shark hoodie costumes. And it was like, okay, these guys aren't going to take themselves seriously. And yeah, they started out their set, and it was like, okay, I'm sold. So when their set ended, Erica and I turned to each other and we're like, merch table? Merch table. We both went and bought t-shirts. So like,
oh man.
Yeah. So without any further ado, this is Hello from Shark in the Water. Yeah, so, they have some pretty subtle Neil Peart-esque lyrics that take a lot of a lot of brain power to like decipher and like make connections to stuff. Like, oh, that's a reference.
A lot of allegories.
Yeah, a lot of allegory.
Allegory.
Sharks, there are like thousands of species of shark and skates and rays. But other than other bigger sharks, they don't really have a lot of natural predators. Like they're kind of an apex predator. At least, the larger pelagic sharks. One of the few exceptions are orca or killer whales. Sharks tend to have like
those seem like they would eat anything.
A fear. Well, yeah, they specifically target sharks, and they only eat their liver. And if other sharks in the area like no killer whales are around, they'll swim from the Farallones to Hawaii to like get away from the killer whales.
It's a pretty long swim.
Yeah. So it's like, killer whales are the kind of schoolyard bully of the sea. At least to like human understanding. Sharks have a different understanding of orca. So this is whales are drones that the government owns.
Oh, man. Are they saying peekaboo from Shamu? Who's whale watching who?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. It's
man.
Like, if you're in the Bay Area and these guys are playing anywhere near you, go see them because they are an experience live. And all of their songs are like 3 minutes long, and by the end of the song, everybody in the audience knows all the words and is singing along. So it's pretty awesome.
So would Poseidon be like the head of the government of the ocean?
Not according to their lore. They don't really mention, because Poseidon's like a Greek god, and Greeks were humans. So,
well, I mean, if the government owns the whales, who's the government?
I don't know. That's a good question. I do know that they do revere Shamu. So, like, you know how Poseidon and Neptune were kind of like angry gods? You had to appease them, or otherwise they'd like bring up storms to like mess with you or sink your fleet or whatever. So it might be the same thing with Shamu. One of their songs, they do talk about what do they call them? The shark manments. And one of them is thou shalt not take Shamu's name in vain. So
interesting.
Yeah. Whales Are Drones is from their latest album. This next song is from their first album. This is Eaten Alive.
Oh, man. Do you have any idea what movie that shark wrestling was from?
No, some sort of like zombie movie, underwater zombie movie.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't tell. Yeah, it was like, at first it's like, that's like, it's either a nurse shark or a reef shark. Like, not super aggressive shark, but at least towards humans. And it was like, oh, okay, that's why they're, filming that shark close to a guy in a zombie costume. But then it's like, oh man, he's really harassing that shark. Like, that's like animal cruelty.
Poor shark.
Mm-hmm. Like, sharks just like trying to figure out what's going on, but
something's stuck on me.
Just leave me alone.
I kind of like sharks.
I do too. Like, they scare the crap out of me, but I am fascinated by them. There's a YouTube channel I've been a subscriber to since the beginning called Shark Bites. He's a biologist and was also like fascinated by sharks. Does a bunch of cool stuff. It's pretty rad. And like there's another one called the Malibu artist, the Malibu something or other. He got kind of famous because he had a like drone footage of like white sharks like super close to swimmers and surfers like in Southern California. And
those ones are freaky because that happens way more than you think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's also like
disconcerting.
Oh, that's like not even a juvenile. That thing's like a baby. Like, they're like 5 to 7 feet long. That's like
most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, yeah, there are like the kayak footage where like it's just this huge shark just comes up for a look and it's like nope.
My friend Erica knew someone that was kayaking off Doran Beach, and they got the front of their kayak bitten off.
Yeah, it's like I've seen shark in the water on Bodega Head, like watching a harbor seal like swim along the like shore or whatever.
Wait, you were in the water or you saw the sharks in the water?
I was on Bodega Head looking down into the water.
Okay.
And
you weren't out in a kayak?
No. And
okay.
And it was like this little harbor seal like was swimming north around Bodega Head, and then like just saw this big shadow under the water, trailing it. It was like, oh man, swim, little buddy.
Yeah, kind of like my Bigfoot experience where I thought I saw Bigfoot prints, but then they turned out to be a bear running uphill. Upon further investigation, my one near shark experience was I was out surfing and I saw this big shape go through the wave that was in front of me, and it sure looked like a shark, and it freaked me out enough that it might as well have been a shark.
Yeah.
But then like the shape kind of came toward the surface of the wave and a bunch of little fish like broke the surface of the water. So it was a school of fish, school of a bunch of little fish imitating a larger shark-shaped fish.
Or it was a school of little fish like trying to get away
from a shark.
Right.
It could have been that too. My roommate Kaipo, though, he did have what are the close encounters? First kind is like seeing it. Second kind is communicating with it. Third kind is like actual contact.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not up on my close encounters.
Yeah.
But my roommate Kaipo, when he was younger, he did have a third contact level with a shark. He was spearfishing and there a shark like started swimming around him, a big tiger shark, and it like pinned him down under this reef. So he was like holding his breath and like waiting for it to leave. And he was like, I can't hold my breath anymore. So he came up from under the reef and started heading toward the surface right when the shark was coming over the reef, and it like bumped into his chest. So he had like all these like teeth marks across his chest just from where the shark bumped him. Like it didn't bite him, but it bumped him and like cut all these teeth marks into his chest. That's closer to a shark than I would ever want to get.
Yeah.
I would probably swim with them if they were like not tiger sharks or something, like reef sharks or something.
Right.
And if I had a spear with me where I could like kind of keep them at arm's length or whatever, I would probably do that. But there's no need to.
Yeah, the few times I've been surfing was out at Doran Beach, and it's like, all the hardcore surfers were like, it's just Doran, dude. It's like, Yeah, Doran Beach is like a mile from Seal Rock in the middle of like Bodega Bay. Like, it's like,
yeah, where the tide goes in and out, and there's like lots of food.
yeah, and it's like it gets deep, like right off shore. It's like,
yeah, it's super sharky out there.
yeah, and it's like, and the water's so cloudy,
You can't see anything.
You can't see anything. So it's just like when you
wouldn't know until something grabbed you and pulled you under.
Yeah, and it's like I've known a few people that were like, yeah, I mean, you know, they're not trying to eat you. They just like, you know, it's
They're
just like
checking you out.
They're just checking you out, and it's just a mistake or whatever, and it's totally rare and blah blah blah. You know, all the justification stuff, and it's like, yeah, I've got.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, and
odds are,
yeah, and it's like
they're like 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah, it's like my rationale for why I think the way I think is like, think about how many people go hiking in like the Western United States versus how many people go swimming and surfing and kayaking along the west coast of the United States.
Yeah, it's not a huge number, especially with the cold water.
Right. And then think about how many fatal shark attacks there have been along the west coast of the United States versus how many fatal mountain lion attacks there have been in the Western United States.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I've done the calculations on it before, you know, to like calculate the odds.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it boils down to, if you get in the water, you're going to get eaten.
Eventually. Yeah. It rapidly approaches zero.
Yeah, and the more often you get in the water, you're just pushing your luck.
Right. Yeah, it's like, you know, you flip a coin, it could come up heads like 50 times in a row, and like the odds reset at 50-50 every time. That's like, it's not due for tails. I guess that doesn't cut that part out. That logic doesn't track. I mean, the logic works, but it doesn't work for our.
No, actually, your odds would get worse.
Yes,
your odds would get worse. It's like the what's behind door number 3.
Yeah, the like Monty Hall problem.
Yeah,
It's like you always split.
Every time you get out and you haven't been eaten, your chance of getting eaten the next time, like, go way up.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, it's more Monty Hall than coin flip. I remember having this discussion with Erica one time, and we were watching, like, we watched a lot of Shark Week stuff because it's fun. And I don't remember if it was Shark Week or if it was like just a show about shark attacks or whatever. They interviewed, like, they were in Northern California, and they interviewed a bunch of people. And one of the people they interviewed was a friend of a friend who, like, the friend had tried to set me up on a blind date with. And it was like, yeah, I don't get set up on a lot of blind dates, but a high percentage of the people that I've been set up on blind dates with have been bitten by sharks. Like, she survived, but she had like well over 100 stitches and like up one whole side of her body, like surfing out at Bodega Bay or somewhere.
Yeah,
Salmon
it's part
Creek
of the
or something.
Red Triangle.
Yeah.
And
it was like, oh yeah, that's a friend of so and so. It's like, yeah. I don't know anybody that's been personally that's been attacked by a mountain lion.
Yeah, me neither. I've seen a few, but
I've only seen them in captivity, never in the wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always wanted to. They're the only native, like, large native species that I haven't
Yeah, it depends on how you see them, I guess. It's not something you want to see all the time.
True.
I'd rather see a bear than a mountain lion.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah. Although I told you my bear story, right? About how I was on the mail route and saw a bear running into the bushes and got back to the office and was like, I saw a bear. And everybody was like, whatever, dude. It was a dog. Dumb kid. I was like, it was not a dog. They were like, okay, what have you been smoking? It was like,
yeah, bears are weird.
Yeah. Like nothing runs like a bear. Nothing moves like a bear. Nothing's shaped like a bear.
Well, bears come in all shapes and sizes.
They do, but it's like they have such a weird gait. And
yeah.
So like the local newspaper the next week that like a bunch of people in the mail office had subscriptions to. So we delivered a lot of these local newspapers. It was like front page, like mother bear and her 2 cubs like knocking over garbage cans in the area. And I was like, see?
Oh, man. I told you so.
I'll be over here sorting mail, awaiting your apologies. Yeah, should we listen to more Shark in the Water?
Sure. What's up next on the playlist?
So next up is a twofer live performance of Shark Machine and Death Certificate. Yeah, I wanted at least one live video so the listeners could experience the mayhem.
Oh, man.
The nautical nonsense.
Yeah, we kept talking about meeting a shark live in the flesh. So now that we've met these sharks live in the flesh, do you want to introduce them?
Yeah, so
to our audience.
This is from the Meet the Sharks, MEAT the Sharks part of their website. So on Shark Tar is Narnar. Harpoonopus is in charge of deep sea explorations, and Seaweed Slammer does the shell beatings. And their little intro is, we are shark, you are food. Get in shark mouth now. Shark in the water is shark surf metal. Surf music with teeth. Teeth that belong in you, stupid food. Songs for sharks by sharks. Every song about put stupid human in mouth. So get in shark mouth.
There you go.
Now you know. To further elucidate,
if you do choose to go into the ocean and swim, you should at least like be able to do so like being educated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like with like an educated estimate of like what your risks are.
Right.
And things. You don't want to go into the water like ignorant.
And it's like
of things.
Before you swim, remember these 4 simple words to keep in mind. Shark machine eats human beings. Just four simple words.
Speaking of school, didn't we go out to the beach one time with like your oceanography class or something on a field trip? I found a shark pod.
Did you go? Yeah.
And I found a shark pod like in the surf, and you gave it to the teacher, like we were trying to figure out what it was. Turned out to be a shark pod.
Mm-hmm.
I think they took it back to see if it would hatch or something.
Maybe. Yeah, one of those mermaid purses.
Yeah.
Those things are so weird.
Ago. They are strange.
Speaking of strange, to further the education segment, we were talking about the close encounters of the third kind thing.
Oh.
That's part of the Hynex scale, which starts at 1. So there's the close encounters and there's the non-close encounters. So 1 is nocturnal lights in the night sky. Number 2 is daylight discs. So UFOs seen in the daytime.
Broad daylight.
Yeah. And then 3...
cigar-shaped craft.
Yeah. 3 is radar visuals. So anything that is like contacted by radar, so it's not just like a visual phenomenon, like the radio waves are bouncing off something.
Not just a trick of the eyes, like there's actually an object there.
Right. And so then 4 is where we start getting into the close encounters. So close encounter of the first kind is visual sighting of an unidentified flying object seemingly less than 500 feet away that show an appreciable angular extension and considerable detail. So not just like a blurry dot super far away.
Yeah, not just a Mylar balloon or
right
spotlights on clouds or who knows what.
You know, the old school definition of unidentified flying object is just like, well, if it's so vague and like blurry that you can't identify it.
You can't tell what it is. You can't identify it, right?
Yeah, so this is like the close encounter of the first kind is like, no, it wasn't just like a blurry gray dot in the distance. This was close. It had, you know, I saw it had like a bubble dome or lights on the bottom or, you know, some sort of detail, not just a shape.
Yeah.
So close encounter of the second kind is an event in which a physical effect is alleged. This can be interference in the function of a vehicle or like electronic device, animals reacting, a physiological effect such as paralysis or heat and discomfort in the witness, or some physical trace like impressions on the ground, scorched or otherwise affected vegetation, or a chemical trace. And then number 6 is close encounter of the third kind, UFO encounters in which an animated entity is present. These include humanoids, robots, and humans who seem to be the occupants or pilots of a UFO.
Okay.
So I think Kaipo had a close encounter of the second kind, technically. Because there was an effect on him.
Well, there was an effect, but there was also physical contact.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was an animated entity. I guess the shark would be the animated entity. There was nobody piloting
unless someone
the shark.
was driving the shark. Yeah, piloting the shark.
Maybe.
Would that include lost time? Would that be like a second?
Yeah, I think lost time would be a second close encounter. The CE2.
CE2. Got it.
Yeah.
We're laughing, and then there's people out there who've actually had experiences that are getting mad at us for laughing.
Yeah. Do you want an explicit tag on this episode? Is there
no
extensions of the Hynek scale?
Oh, probings.
A CE4 is an abduction. A CE5 is anytime there's like a physical effect from the close encounter. So like an implanted device or some such.
Oh, those are the worst.
Yeah. So they've either like taken something out of you or put something in you. And then a CE6 is where they dim the lights and put on the, I don't know what the correct term for that kind of music is.
Put on some Kenny G.
Yeah, they put on some Kenny G, some saxophone music.
Oh, man.
Get out the Diddy juice.
Diddy juice. Gross.
Totally. Okay. There are also blotcher subtypes for the close encounters. A through F. Oh, this actually is kind of interesting. Yeah, there are 6 subtypes for CE3s. So a CE3A is aboard, an entity is observed only inside the UFO. B is both. This is pretty cool. It's kind of cool that they like alphabetize it, but then it's also like, I don't know. I appreciate
thought going into the scale.
Yeah, and like information accessibility. So B is both, an entity is observed inside and outside the UFO. C is close, an entity is observed near to a UFO, but not going in or out. D is direct, an entity is observed. No UFOs are seen by the observer, but UFO activity has been reported in the area at about the same time. E is excluded, an entity is observed, but no UFOs are seen, and no UFO activity has been reported in the area at the time. And F is frequents. No entity or UFO are observed, but the subject experiences some sort of intelligent communication.
They should have, when they did Total Recall, like the special effects for that, they should have consulted with like one of those like Haitian spirit surgeon people to like make it more convincing, so they wouldn't have to use like this weird dummy animated Schwarzenegger dummy head.
When they pulled the big glowing ball out of his nose.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about? Yeah. One of the grossest scenes. That movie had so many gross things in it. That was like a huge blockbuster sci-fi movie. Like it had all this like yuck body horror stuff in it.
How'd we get in the UFO stuff? We'll have to save all that for our Space Rock episode.
Yeah, shark encounters.
Yeah. Let's get back in the water.
Okay. Well, you know, if you can't always make it to the ocean, you could always go to an aquarium.
Well, what are those ones? What is it? A UAW? No, that's United Auto Workers.
Yeah.
What are the UFOs that like go underwater? They go like all Jar Jar Binks.
Oh man, what is it? Yeah, it's a
What's that planet? What's Jar Jar's planet?
If I think about it, I'll remember, and I don't want to remember because
okay. Well, let's listen to the next song then.
Yeah, it's like I'm already trying to remember the underwater.
Is it on Alderaan, but it's like on the ocean part of the planet?
No, Alderaan only ever got blown up. It's...
Well, I thought Jar Jar's planet got blown up.
No. Oh, God. Naboo. I told you I would remember.
Oh, you're welcome. I think Jar Jar wants to have a level 5 close encounter with you.
No. Still better know level 6. There's a meme. It's not really a meme. There's like somebody's terrible Photoshop. And it's like, what's his name? Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Liam Neeson. It's like the Jedi. And they're like standing next to Jar Jar. But he's got like this like latex dominatrix outfit on.
Oh no.
And it's Jar Jar kinks. It's so terrible.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay. So the one tiny silver lining from the horrible prequel movies, because like I know there's like a whole generation of kids that likes them. Why? If anyone's still listening, we're on a tangent from a tangent. That's pretty much what our podcast is. I know there's a whole generation of kids that loves the prequels, that grew up with the prequels, and like that's what Star Wars is to them. But like, they're not good. And like, Star Wars was like totally awesome, and like Empire Strikes Back was better, and Return of the Jedi had some cool parts, but has a lot of goofy crap in it too. Like George Lucas, like, has said over and over again how like if he had enough time, he would find every copy of the holiday special and smash it with a hammer. And he's like,
oh man,
this is what you get when you like don't keep creative control of your own creations or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, the holiday special is bad, but like it's so bad it's good. And it's like, just embrace it, that it's just like, it is what it was. And like, it's of its time and it's cheesy and lame, but like,
and it was a sellout.
It was a sellout, but then it's like, the prequels are just bad. They're like, they don't even get so bad they're good. They're just like awful. And it's like, the thing is that it's like, my point is that like George Lucas had complete control over those. And it's like, okay, well, you can't dig on the holiday special because you made Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, like two of the worst Star Wars movies ever.
Yeah, the litmus test for any sequel is, well, one, does it stand on its own? But like, most importantly, the litmus for any sequel is, does it make the original worse in some way?
Yeah, like Highlander 2. Highlander 2 made the first movie worse. Right.
And it's the same with the prequels, because like in the first Empire series, like Darth Vader was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then we find out that Darth Vader was actually like this immature, like hot-headed, like whiny dork.
Yeah, he was like a dorky kid, and then he became like a whiny teenager and young adult really fast for some reason.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and then like
that kind of fails the sniff test because
and then number one,
like takes away from the first
number one egregious thing is like it went away from like the universality of like Joseph Campbell myth of like the Force is this like undefinable thing.
So let's define it.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, no, it's about these like weird symbiotic little bugs or whatever that live in your blood. And you can have more or less of them. It's not something you really control. And it's like,
yeah,
what the?
So you can't really train them other than like,
or like, it's
wearing down your immune system or something.
Yeah. Like, it's not about like, oh, it's like the power of love or friendship or like the force of others, like I'm glad they like completely turned their back on that. And like the one time they've talked about it since is like, they just call it the M count. And then like Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And it's like, like they get back to the like, yeah, it's all mysterious and nobody knows how it works. And like, it's like, yeah, that's how you do it.
I think we need to.
Yeah, we need to reset.
Get back in the boat.
But I have one more one more point to make because I'm an angry nerd. The one silver lining from the prequel movies, and it's like it's barely it's a very tarnished silver lining. Like if I don't like something, I just won't like it, and like I'll be opinionated about it. But it's like, okay, it's like, George, you really stepped in it here. And it's like, that's where the blame begins and ends. That it's like, Jar Jar Binks was a crap character, but it's like, it's the character George Lucas wanted. But like, people focused their hate not on who created the character, but like who played the character. So like Ahmed Best, like he thought about ending his life because people hated Jar Jar Binks so much. And it's like, it's not your fault, dude. And it's like, he's like overcome that. He's been very outspoken about it. And it's like, yeah, toxic fans are toxic. Like, don't hate something so much that you focus it on someone and like ruin their life.
Yeah, so, like blame him for getting the part.
Yeah. It's like, it was a job, dude. Like, he did a really good job playing a really terrible character. Like, George Lucas created this thing that I love, and it's like, he had this vision that I wasn't that big a fan of, but it's like, that's the extent of it. I still love George Lucas. Like, come on, man. I focus my hate on the haters. So after all of that, like, hate that was spewed at Ahmed Best, I thought it was so, like, I got misty-eyed when in one of the Mandalorian or like the like weird one-off Mandalorian episode in Book of Boba Fett, where it was like a flashback scene to explain how Grogu like escaped the like purge at the Jedi Temple, and like Ahmed Best played like the Jedi Master that like got Grogu out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like beautiful true fan service redemption thing. And it was like, yeah, dude, like that guy's rad. Like don't hate him. He's awesome. See? He saved baby Yoda.
My daughter and her best friend used to be like way into Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so her friend would cosplay as General Grievous. And my daughter was super into Boba Fett and got really into all the Mandalorian stuff. And she made a bunch of Mandalorian helmets and like cosplay outfits and weapons and gear and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Mandalorian came out. It was just like, it's like showing up to the convention and like you're not the only one in it anymore. Like everybody's, it's like,
when the thing you love becomes popular, and it's like,
yeah. So she still likes that stuff, but she like doesn't cosplay as it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like doesn't like going to the conventions anymore. Cause I think like, post Disney, like that kind of like was a wrap for her.
Yeah. It's hit or miss. Like some of it's really good.
Well, I enjoy the
really
shows
terrible.
they come out with, but
But yeah, some of them are just bad.
Well, and you have to like, if you're gonna have a fandom, you have to leave enough to the imagination and enough to the fans,
Mm-hmm.
so they can like create their own community around it instead of just like
100%
developing all the worlds and like putting a trademark on everything.
That's one of the things that kind of ruined Warhammer 40,000 for me. It's like, you can still create your own Space Marine chapters, but like a generic Space Marine chapter isn't going to be as tournament competitive as the Blood Angels or the whatevers, the Ultramarines. It's like, come on.
Yeah, you think you're like this cool Space Marine that's going to go save the universe, but turns out you're just some like backwater like weekender militia or something.
Mm-hmm. It's not quite that bad, but it's sort of the same. That it's like
sort of the same.
I thought I was the elite, but those guys are the elites. Do you want to get us back on nautical?
Yeah,
do you want to?
Not sure. I think we're like too far off. I don't know how to get back. I think that rabbit hole like was terminal.
Well, do you want like a keto-friendly, like healthy snack, gluten-free snack that's like pretty inexpensive too? You go to like the pet store, to like the bird department, and they have like the cuttlefish bones that like birds sharpen their beaks on and stuff. And you get those, and when you empty a jar of pickles, you don't like pour out the pickle juice.
Uh-huh.
And so you put the cuttle bones in.
Dissolve the cuttlefish bone into the acidic pickle rind.
Well, it doesn't dissolve it, but it like makes it all soft.
Oh.
And it's really, really good. It's all salty and.
Is that a mango or something?
Seaweedy. No, it's like a softened cuttlefish bone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I believe you?
I'm just laughing because you're laughing. Why are you laughing?
Why am I laughing? Oh, man. There's all kinds of things in the ocean you can eat.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all kinds of things in the ocean that can eat you.
Oh, my God. And sometimes you can't always make it to the ocean, but there's always an aquarium nearby. This is welcome to the aquarium.
we would give our kids a graduation trip, like when they graduated high school, where they could like go somewhere for like a long weekend or a week. And my son picked Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Oh, nice.
Just like go down there and just like bask in the aquariumness. And he's like way into shark stuff.
Nice.
Like if you ever want to get him a gift or anything, just anything to do with sharks.
Okay.
It's like right up his alley.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, like I think these guys will like become one of his favorite bands.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The Monterey Bay Aquarium is so cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah. Last time I went, yeah, it was a cool trip. We've already had enough tangents. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh man. Yeah, we would always take them tide pooling as kids, and
nice.
You know, they were just like little kids when we lived up in Eureka.
Right.
They have that maritime air running through their veins.
Nice. That'll keep them out of trouble.
Yeah.
Keep them out of jail. They won't need to worry about bail bondsmen or Shark the Bounty Hunter.
Oh no.
This is Shark in the Water with Shark the Bounty Hunter. That's one of my favorite songs of theirs.
Yeah.
Those lines are just so goofy. Get a raw deal. Cellmates an electric eel.
Oh, man.
No.
I used to kind of like that show.
Oh, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter. Yeah. That guy was quite the character.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I cleaned up my life of crime just because I didn't want to end up on TV on his show.
That'll do it.
Yeah. I didn't want to deal with the embarrassment.
That makes sense. That's a look, man.
Oh man. Yeah, there's not a lot of vocations you could go into looking like that.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like you're not going to be
accountant. Dog the accountant.
Public defender. Yeah. You could probably be a politician these days. That look.
Yeah, these days, yeah. It's got the spray tan for it. Actually, you probably had a real tan, maybe.
Probably.
Probably had a spray tan on top of a real tan.
Yeah, there you go. Gross.
Because, yeah, they were from Hawaii, I guess.
Oh, they were?
Or
I always thought they were from
That's
Florida.
where they started. No, I think they started in Hawaii.
Well, how hard can that be? Like, you're on an island. Where are you going to go?
Oh, there's places to go. You can just go to another island, really.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have...
Go stay with your auntie on Molokai or something.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess there are boats. But, you know, there's usually only like one or two airports. One big one and tiny little ones. You'd know better than me. You actually lived there.
They don't really have boats going across except for like little private boats.
Right.
Doesn't make financial sense to have like
a ferry.
Ferry. Yeah, people have tried it and failed.
Yeah, I watched a thing about it because I'm a nerd. Yeah, because it's like, other than a couple of the islands, they're further away than you think.
Yeah, they're pretty far apart.
Yeah, like I remember seeing from Oahu to, I don't know if it went to Lahaina, but somewhere on Maui. But from like Oahu to Maui, it was like close to 24 hours on a boat. It was like more than just like a commuter plane or whatever. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's like 45 minutes by plane, but like, yeah, it was like a really long time. I can't remember if it was like 15 hours or 24 hours or something. Just not worth it. And then, have you ever seen like all of the Hawaiian Islands, like the entire state of Hawaii overlaid with the continental United States?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's got some reach.
Yeah.
It looks so tiny out there in the middle of the Pacific, but it's got some reach to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you start getting into that outer stuff.
Yeah, like Midway and the like that little like atoll that's like a seal sanctuary and is like in danger of like not existing anymore, not being above water anymore. That's like San Francisco, and like the Big Island is like southern Texas. It's like, holy crap. Like, why don't they just build a bridge between the islands? You could drive there.
Like Key West.
Yeah. Anyway, should we get back to our friends? Our shark friends? This is Shark Friend.
Nice simple lyrics.
Straight to the point.
I like that album cover too. It's pretty classy. Album name.
Yeah, Toxic Shark Syndrome.
Shark Syndrome. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. I finish out the playlist with the title song from that album.
The title track. Nice.
So, we talked about like my irrational fear of sharks versus my irrational fear of mountain lions.
Mm-hmm.
And like my rationale comes down to like humans are land animals. And so if you're encountering another land animal, like you're at least on equal footing. Like you're both in your like environment.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, a mountain lion might have, teeth and claws and agility and stuff, but like I'm also evolved for this environment, and I have my intellect.
Unless you were like a zombie that could breathe underwater or something, you wouldn't want to tangle with a shark,
right? And whereas like you go into the water and it's like you're out of your element. So no matter how like adept you are at being a human swimmer, like you're never gonna
unless you're full Aquaman.
But even then, it's like you don't have that fusiform body. You're not going to compete.
Yeah, I'm
with
just glad there's not like land sharks. Just glad there's not like land sharks, like things that are like 20 feet long with like a mouth that you could fall into. Running around.
Well, I mean, there were, just thankfully not when humans were around.
Yeah, thankfully not anymore. That can like travel like 4 times faster than you.
Yeah, some big theropods coming at you. Yeah, so it's like you go against a shark, and it's no question, like, you ain't from around here. It's their water. It ain't your
at
water.
least you're going to eventually black out. It's not like a bear mauling or something.
True.
So maybe it's preferred. I don't know.
Maybe, but, it's
but probably not. I don't want to find out.
Right. I'm safe with just letting them have their water. So this is it's our water.
Oh man.
It's one of my favorites. Because it's like right when you think there aren't going to be lyrics, like, it's instrumental, just surf metal. It's like, it's our water, it's our world. It's like, okay.
Man.
Ooga chaka, fin. So by the end of that song, everybody's like doing the fin.
Doing the fin. Oh man. Yeah, one time I was at Oak Park with Mrs. Stuckey when I was a little kid, and I got in an argument with another kid. He thought dolphins were just the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, dude, sharks. I'm a shark. Like we almost got in a fight over it. And like, I remember like swimming with my hand, like as a fin over my head. And I think I like ran into the wall or something.
Oh man.
Swimming after this kid and like getting all heated about like what were the coolest sea creatures. Yeah. Or maybe I was the dolphin. Maybe I think I might have been rooting for the dolphin. Because I was really into Flipper.
Flipper was cool.
But I never heard Grandpa Nobles tell any shark stories. Yeah. I don't remember him ever mentioning having any shark run-ins or anything.
Doing the abalone diving.
Yeah, because I was like looking at the cover of that, and like he started abalone diving when he was like 6 years old.
Dang.
He dove like every year until he was in his 70s.
Yeah.
Like he went abalone diving like 6 months before he passed away.
Right.
So like in his 70s, he was born in Point Arena, which is like the center of the Red Triangle.
Right.
So yeah, I don't remember him having any shark stories at all.
Yeah, what were they going after? Oh, ling cod. They were going after cod. A video came up in my YouTube feed, and it was this group of friends up at Haystack Rock up in Oregon. They were spearfishing for cod, and a guy on the trip caught like the state record ling cod. This huge. Whoa. It was like,
yeah, that's got to be pretty big.
More than twice like the what everybody else caught on the trip. But
oh man,
like it was a totally successful day for him. And so like he and one of the other guys, like, you know, it's like whenever you go fishing with your buddies or do anything with buddies, it's like there's always some level of competition. Even if it's not competition, it's just bragging rights, you know? Like the dude whose channel it was like went down like after the buddy caught the huge cod, and he was like, okay, well, I got to do one more. Like, you know, that fish's granddad has to be down there somewhere. And went down and like got the spooky feeling.
Oh man.
And like was down in this kind of like little cut, like a little crack in the rock, like, you know, still pretty big, but he was like kind of down in this little spot and like got the spooky feeling and turned around and this, you can see it on, like he has a GoPro, and it's just
man.
This huge shark, like huge white shark swims by and he's just like, nope.
We're done for the day.
Yeah, like you can hear him like under the water, like
oh man, like
freaking out. And it's like it's a 20-minute video, and it's like it's pretty cool if you like outdoorsy fishing videos anyway. But then it's like when this shark comes, and it's like the water's a little bit cloudy, and it's like they figured because they had a successful day spearfishing, but there was enough blood.
A lot of blood in the water. Yeah.
So like the shark came to check, and like because I'm a shark nerd, like it was there and ready to throw fins, because like they swim with like their pectoral fins kind of more or less out to the side, but when they're like in maneuver, like attack mode, their pectoral fins
put them down like a F-16.
Yeah, exactly. And because it gives them more like directional movement and stuff. And so it's like this huge shark, like it's basically like a van driving by, and it's like, oh man, the pectoral fins are just like way down. Yeah. And it's just like, oh man. And so he like gets up to the surface, and like the boat has gone over to like pick somebody else up, and he's just like, white shark in the water, there's a great white. And like they come over and like pull him out, and then like, okay, where's Joe or whatever? And they're like, like, so then like he comes up and he's like, what's going on? And they're like, it's a huge shark.
Dude, get out.
Yeah. They're just like, we're done for the day.
Yeah, like we were talking about the odds, like once you survive the odds, you just like want to like call it quits. It's like, well, that was my chance. Like your 9 lives or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of those surfers, like, you know, they get bit and they go back out. Like it's.
Yeah, that one's kind of like you got to get back on the horse kind of thing. But yeah, luckily I was never that successful at spearfishing to like where I had like too much blood in the water to become a problem.
Right.
Yeah, one of the most disorienting experiences I had was we went spearfishing at night, and it was on the reef. So there's like waves, like pretty good waves too. So it's dark, and you only have like a little flashlight beam, like underwater flashlight beam as like your visual reference. And then you're like bobbing around in the waves.
Right.
And it was just like, which way is up? It was like so disorienting.
Oh, man.
Like I didn't get like seasick into my snorkel or anything like that. But it was just like, man, this is like difficult. And then finally I got out because I was too cold. Because I was just in like trunks and like a rash guard. I just went and sat on the beach. I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, man.
But like during the day, it's better because you can like see around you. But at night, the fish are just like sleeping or whatever. They're so easy to catch.
Right. Gone into low power mode.
But hopefully the sharks will forgive us. But we did used to fish for shark.
Yes. Yeah, because they can be tasty. Yeah, for me, it was the leopard shark, which is
like Drake's estuary. It's like they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's almost like fishing for like the biggest trout you've ever fished for. Like the gear and the fight is like really similar to like a 10 times trout or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super fun and they are tasty. But like, yeah, like you said, they're beautiful, and then like their faces are kind of cute.
Yeah,
if they kind of,
if I did it again, I would probably just do catch and release.
Yeah, same.
Just because they're so beautiful. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like you have to cut their head off like right away and drain all the blood out, otherwise it ruins the meat. And it's like they have this.
We would drain them from the tail.
Oh,
yeah, because their blood basically turns to ammonia.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like they have that puppy dog face. It's like, man,
it's hard. Yeah. But yeah, the first time you like see the spots and everything, and you feel that sandpaper skin, like, I don't know, that's like a pretty cool life experience.
Totally. Yeah, but it's like you could enjoy
like
all that.
That was down there,
let them
and
go.
now it's up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, like if you go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, they have tons of them in the big tank. And and you can just watch them, see them being awesome. One time it got super hot here. We had this like heat wave. Like we thought about going out to the beach, but like it was before I bought my big sunshade thing and my beach umbrella. Like I sunburned super easy, and it was like, yeah, like it'll be cooler out at the beach, but you know, there's no shade or anything. But somebody had told me and taken me out to the beaches along Tamales Bay. Like on the west side of Tamales Bay.
Oh, Tamales Bay is super sharky.
Totally. And
Uncle Mike told me he entered a shark derby.
I'll bet.
One time fishing for shark in Tamales Bay.
Nice. Yeah, that's where I did most of my shark fishing. But
right in Tamales Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of them in there.
Yeah. And so like the west side of the bay, like it's sheltered, and like so it doesn't have the like, I mean, it still has the rocky beaches and stuff, but the trees grow right down to the water. So it's all these like semi bonsai like pine trees that look like they're out of like a Japanese painting.
Salt tolerant. Stunted.
Yeah. And you know, they're like growing on these like rocky cliffs and stuff. Like it looks like a
cool
Japanese watercolor. It's just gorgeous scenery. And then it's like the further you get into the afternoon, like the shadier it gets because the sun's going behind you. It's
nice.
It's super, super awesome. And so we went out there
on the beach with the sun reflecting off the water.
Yeah, getting like snow blind off the glare. Yeah. And so because it was like the middle of this huge heat wave, the beaches were just packed. Like so many people.
Oh man.
And like tons of people like tons of kids swimming in the water and like people paddle boarding and like floating around and stuff.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. And so like I saw it come to the surface. Like I just saw this like tail fin and what's the back fin?
Dorsal.
The dorsal fin, like break the surface, and then I saw a little bit of the back, and it was like I saw the spots. And it was like it was a pretty good size one. It was probably 3 feet long, 3.5 feet long, and like I would always bring a pair of binoculars out to the beach, and so it was like I was out there watching and like confirmed, like, oh yeah, leopard shark. And you know, it's just like tons of people, and it was like everybody I was with, I was like, okay, out by the, you know, the kid with the swimmies on, like the floaties on, and the in between the kid with the floaties and the paddleboarder, the yoga mom paddleboarder, like, look, like you can see the fins. And it was like, should we yell shark?
Shark like, in the water.
200 people freak out. It's like,
oh man,
what? I thought you guys would think it was cool. It's a little leopard shark. They're super cute. All these angry people that just panicked.
So you played the song earlier, Shark Friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the preferred term of endearment for a shark friend is?
No.
Chum.
That does feature prominently on their website. So do you know who else likes chum?
Who else likes chum?
And who takes over the beach when humans and fish are sleeping?
No.
The sand crabs.
Oh.
The sand crabs come out and have their rodeo. This is sand crab rodeo.
I remember this one time I went over to mom and dad's house, like when you were still pretty little.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd been out of the house by this time and I had long dreadlocks and like a bit of a reputation or whatever. Yeah. And I went over to like have dinner and watch a movie with everybody. And I'm standing by the heater and everybody else is on the couch. Like, so I'm behind them, like standing next to, because we had like one of those in-wall heaters. And I would all stand there to like warm up.
I'm super proud of this story.
And so like I'm standing there and I swear I see a crab run across the hallway floor from the couch, like down the hallway. And I freaked out and I jumped up onto the back of the couch where everybody was sitting. And they're like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I'm like, a crab just ran across the floor. And they were just like, oh, here we go. You know, like, is Eric on drugs or something? Like, what is going on? It's like, no, I swear I saw a crab run across the floor, like a good sized crab. And everybody's just like, oh, stop it. You know, like, quit making stuff up. You know, it's like, come on, let's just quit goofing around. I was like, no, I'm not putting my bare feet back down on the floor until we find this crab. And everybody just like thinks I'm like, I've lost my mind or something. And meanwhile, Clark's being like awfully quiet. You know, he's probably like, I don't know, 11 or something. Being super quiet. So then finally, like, the crab runs out from under the couch, and then everybody's freaking out. And I'm like, I told you. Yeah. I guess Clark knows the story behind the story.
Yeah, so I don't remember why we went out to the coast, but like, you know, like you probably got dragged to like stuff that Cena and Kari wanted to do, and like
yeah, sure.
And had to sit through boring stuff. Like you guys all got to go to Disneyland like together, and like I don't know. Like being 5 years younger than everybody else, like you guys were all teenagers or like older teens or in your 20s, and like I had to do stuff with either just mom and dad or like mom and dad and one of the grandparents, or like I had
you're all like antique shopping or like going out for brunch or something with a bunch of old ladies.
Yeah, or like stuck at a yarn shop for like hours and hours and hours. Yeah. So like we went out to the coast, but it was like, I don't know, like for whatever reason, it was just like not fun. Because it was like I was with a bunch of old people. And so I was essentially just like out there by myself. And it was like, there weren't any tide pools or like anything. Like I forget what beach we went to, but it was just like, I don't know, it was cold and like there's just nothing to
just added to the ice, the loneliness.
Yeah. And
these sound like excuses.
It's the preamble. It's not an excuse. But yeah, so there were a bunch of, and this is like possibly why I still remember the scientific name. It's one of the few scientific names that I like memorized from my marine biology class. Pachygrapsis crassipus, the green-lined shore crab. There were a lot of green-lined shore crabs like running around. And so I caught one of them because I had an aquarium, and I was like, maybe it'll survive in the aquarium.
My new friend.
Yeah. So I put it in my jacket pocket and brought it home. Apparently,
oh man,
yeah, it didn't really like the freshwater aquarium so much, so it escaped.
Oh man,
yeah, poor crab.
Yeah, my friend Mike is the one that turned me on to shark fishing, and the first time we went with a friend of his who was like another blues guitar guy, but his day job was as a marine biologist.
Mm-hmm.
So we got like the full immersion, like shark ray fishing experience, like
nice.
What they eat, what the tide's like, where to look for them.
Oh, nice.
And once you pull them out of the water, you get like get the little mini lecture.
Yeah, the anatomy.
So, yeah, it was really cool.
That is cool. Yeah, well, one of the other scientific names that I know is the white shark. Do you know it?
No.
Carcharodon carcharius.
Whoa.
Yeah, it even sounds cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and if you want to be a real pedant, you can point out to people whenever they say great white, it's like all white sharks are great. It's just white shark. Like the great is redundant because there's no lesser white tip, or like there's no lesser white shark.
There's a white tipped reef shark.
There's a white tipped reef shark, but it's like it's completely different. It doesn't have the white belly like the white sharks, but there's no lesser white shark. So there's no need for it to be a great white shark.
They're pretty great.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell them any different.
No. Yeah, and it's like, as much as I like as scared of them as I am, like I do kind of want
fascination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a friend of mine and I have like the same trauma. Like we saw that like shark documentary where like that shark biologist dude, like it was a reenactment of his shark attack where he lost his foot. And so he reenacts it, but he's like already missing his foot. And so it's like he's there like on the like deck of the boat, like going into shock with this like stump with a bunch of fake blood on it and stuff. And it's just like totally traumatizing. And so it's like,
yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, my friend Mario and I have like the same trauma, that it was just like it all started there. That it's like, why would they show that on TV? And then it's like decades later, we find out that it's like it was a reenactment. And it's like, why would they reenact that and show it on TV?
For views, for eyeballs.
Yeah, there's like an entire generation of like dudes in their early 50s that are like, I ain't going in the water.
Oh man,
F that.
Yeah, like I always thought it'd be fun to like swim with dolphins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like people probably aren't going to believe me because we have a podcast where we just talk all the time and laugh about stupid stuff.
Right.
But like if you think about a dolphin's personality,
did you have a close encounter of the fifth kind with a dolphin?
Well, okay, so there's that, but
because they are the.
But personality-wise, like as a person, I'm much more like a shark, like run silent, run deep kind of personality, rather than like an extroverted, like always cackling goofball, golden retriever of the sea.
Well, they aren't all like dolphins and porpoises and stuff. Like
right, but I mean, like just the caricature of it. It's like I'm more shark temperament than porpoise or dolphin temperament.
Well, like, did you ever, when you lived out in Hawaii, did you ever see the spinner dolphins?
Yeah.
Like those guys are super rad. They're tiny and they're
cool. Yeah,
they're like the skater kids of the sea. But it's just like,
that's true.
Oh, dude, there's a boat. Let's go like ride this bow wave for like as long as the boat is moving. Like,
yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just like we found a curve.
Yeah, maybe I have a bit of that in me.
Let's go do that.
But I was just thinking, like, if you are going to swim with something in the ocean, should it more closely match your personality? Or should you just like be this foreign observer, observing things for what they are?
Right. Yeah, I don't think I want to swim with anything. I'm not that good a swimmer. Then like I don't know.
I used to love swimming in the ocean.
Even like whale sharks.
It's too cold here. I wouldn't do it here.
Yeah. I have a friend who like goes down to like southern Mexico fairly often and like got to swim with whale sharks and talked about how rad it was. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that does sound really cool, but it would still.
Well, I don't know. Anything big, though, is kind of freaky. Like,
exactly.
I mean, even like sturgeon and stuff, like in the river, it's like,
yeah,
nah, I don't want to see one of those prehistoric alien monsters.
Yeah, well, but like I read that book, The Devil's Teeth, about that journalist who like lived semi illegally out on a boat that was barely seaworthy off of the Farallones. Like got permission to like anchor off the Farallones. It's like a really cool book. And then there was like she actually stayed on the island a couple times because like the storms got so bad that they're just like whatever. Like,
yeah, I think I would want a super seaworthy boat.
Yeah.
Anywhere out there.
Yeah, so like the scientists like came and got her like that were stationed out there. Like now I don't think any scientists like stay out at the Farallones. But yeah, they like would count birds and whale migrations and stuff. But the like the storms got so bad that they just came and got her and they're like, yeah, you're gonna die if you stay out here. Like, she's like, yeah, I know it's against like federal law for you to set foot on the Farallones, but like I think we'll be forgiven. Like she talked about how, have you ever like, I've talked about the spooky feeling with that shark video, the spearfishing video, but yeah, like have you ever been in the woods or like any environment and gotten that like spooky feeling?
Oh, out in my backyard all the time when I go to close up the chickens. I want to get one of those like Indian tiger masks to wear like on the back of my head.
Yeah, the woodsman masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Village of the Crazies.
Jim Cotta. Yeah, because like the mood changes like when there's a predator around.
Yeah.
And so like
your spidey senses, like, you should listen to him.
Yeah. Like the author of that book said that like she could always tell when like, because like the birds changed and the seals changed, like when there was a big white shark out there. And like these are not the ones that like the Malibu Artist films where it's like these are like the huge females that are like close to 20 feet long.
Yeah, the buses.
Yeah, the buses.
The garbage trucks of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Some hobbies are thrilling, but they all have some risk.
Yeah. Well, you still do the squirrel suit base jumping.
Well, yeah, but I wear a helmet.
Oh, okay.
And not just to hold my GoPro camera.
Oh, okay.
Although it is kind of two birds with one stone.
But it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, I mean, if I did like auger into the earth or something, they might be able to use my brain for science still. And they'll have a bucket to scoop it into.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Yeah, I saw one thing where they didn't show it, but they talked about it. Because they'll go under bridges and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, through little channels or cuts or whatever. Like little narrow points and stuff, which is pretty dodgy anyway. But
yeah.
There was some bridge that had like an upper and a lower section.
Oh, well, then you're going to want to go in between the two.
Yeah. And so dude went in between them, but they were doing construction and had a chain link fence put up. So the guy hit a chain link fence at like 150 miles an hour.
Oh, man.
Wearing a spandex suit. And
did he just
and a skateboard helmet.
Totally like Play-Doh station through the thing?
They didn't say in the thing, and I'm really glad because that's Play-Doh's spaghetti factory.
Pre-check something like that.
Yeah.
Make sure the fence wasn't up that day. I don't know. Maybe call somebody on the cell phone.
Like midair.
Say, hey, I think I'm thinking about shooting between those two bridge levels. Is the fence down?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess when it's your time, it's your time. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
It could be anything, but like, why make it easy?
Mm-hmm.
Just like put up a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, like the Grim Reaper work for it.
Yeah, make
like
him earn his pay.
One of my favorite dark humor jokes. I want to die peacefully in my sleep like Grandpa, and not screaming in fiery horror like the passengers in his car.
That's pretty bad.
It rarely gets a joke, or rarely gets a laugh, but it's one of my favorite jokes.
Okay.
Reset.
Okay, I'm going to throw you one more pitch about Midnight Swim.
Okay.
See if you'll swing at it.
All right. Let's hear it.
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, oh, geez. Now I see what you're talking about the whole time.
Oh man. Yeah.
Sorry.
Struck out on that one.
Yeah, well, it was dark and I wasn't using my head. I couldn't scoop what you were pooping. So this is Midnight Swim.
I had an art piece when I was a young artist called Late Night Swim. And like nobody liked it or got it, but it was supposed to be like the way light reflects off things at night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was cool.
No one else did.
No one ever said anything about it.
Oh, sad.
Other than, well, what's that supposed to be? Well, the title of it's Late Night Swim. Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Well, yeah, but what's it supposed to be? Not Norman and Rockwell.
Yeah. I was already
a bit abstract, folks.
Yeah, not a whole lot of deep metaphors with Shark in the Water. They're put your swim cap on, not your thinking cap.
They're not above the surface, but they're just right below the surface.
There you go.
So don't stick your toes in.
Yeah. But, you know, their latest EP came out this year because, you know, Mickey Mouse is public domain now.
He is?
Yeah.
Huh. Seems like they would have done something about that.
Yeah, they didn't. Yes. Steamboat Willie. Public domain. Yeah, it's like Disney makes more money off of other people's IP, but they don't need Walt's crap anymore.
Makes sense.
They just don't even bother. So it's a shark world after all.
Oh man. I know parts of this podcast have like taken some downer turns, I guess. But this is, since we're talking about Disneyland and like Southern California beaches and stuff, like this is a good time to like give like a little memorial to my friend Josh Sloat Gross, aka Bubba, aka Fred, like the singer of Moto Stillbirth. He passed away a couple weeks ago. They just had his memorial Saturday. I would have liked to have gone down for that, but I don't get around much anymore.
Right.
One of my favorite memories of him is I was visiting our cousin Kristen down in Hollywood, and he and this guy Chip drove down in Chip's VW van, and his van broke down. So they ended up down at the pier in Los Angeles, and they wanted us to come get them. And we're like, okay. So we hop in my little VW and head over to the beach. And we get there, and Chip's just like totally pissed. Like, not only because his van blew up, but because we took forever to get there. And like, I don't think he realized that like Hollywood, like to the beach in LA is like 2 hours, especially during traffic. So yeah, we were like driving back to Hollywood. So they had a place to stay with us. And as we're driving back, he's like slowly starting to realize just how long it's taking to drive across Los Angeles.
Right.
And he's like, oh man, I feel bad. I'm sorry I was in such a bad mood. And he just like totally like let it all out. But then the next day we went to Disneyland all together. And like Chip and Josh were like pretty crazy, rough, wild dudes. I don't know, common role for me like back then was like babysitting people while they were on drugs. So we go to Disneyland, they drop acid, and like it was like kind of like a prequel to the whole Duff Gardens. Like it's a Duff World after all thing.
Right.
Yeah. But like, yeah, one of my fondest memories is seeing Josh, and he really wanted a Mickey Mouse hat with his name on it. And like, yeah, he had just shaved his head for the summer. So like, the two of them like running around, and Josh in his Mickey Mouse ears. And
oh man. Yeah,
it was crazy. But while we were hanging out at the beach, Josh also taught me a valuable life lesson of how to drink beer at the beach and low key like pee in the sand without anybody knowing what you're doing.
You've told me this story. Yeah, share it.
Yeah.
Share it with the
He's
listeners.
like, yeah,
This
you
is
lay on your
valuable
side and you
information.
just look like you're checking around and you like, just like dig a little pit in the sand. And then you just like lay down on your stomach like you're sun tanning and you can just pee right into the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have another little pit that you dig to keep your beer in, and it'll keep it cold. And like the rangers or the lifeguards won't see you having an open container out on the beach.
Right.
Thanks, Josh. Valuable life lessons.
My two problems are solved. Now I've unlocked beach mastery.
Yeah, rest in peace, Slody. He'll be missed. He was a larger than life character.
Nice. Yeah, reminiscing about old friends and sharing your feelings. It's important. And it's important to remember that sharks have feelings too.
How many feelings could a shark have?
Is that a crappy enough segue?
Well, you missed that you missed those last couple softball pitches I gave you.
I know.
So
it's like you're actually
I'm going to put this one right down the middle.
It's like, so this is Shangri. Hungry and angry.
So sharks can have two emotions, huh?
Yeah, because tonic immobility doesn't count. That's a state, not a feeling.
Where you turn them upside down and stroke their belly.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be worth trying. If you were ever going to swim with the sharks, you'd have to at least try that.
Yeah. Well, I think it only works on some sharks. They're like,
well, you'd find out which ones it worked on, I guess, pretty quick.
Yeah,
oh, man.
I think that it'll kill some sharks.
Oh, well, that'd be a bummer.
Yeah, like they can't move water over their gills when they're not moving.
Yeah, they have to keep moving to breathe.
Mm-hmm. So, sharks aren't the only deadly creature in the sea. You know that, right?
No, only sharks. What else could kill you? Well, there's poisonous sea snails.
It's true. And sea snakes. But sea snakes aren't super aggressive, so.
Right. Yeah, these National Geographic scientist dudes came to our house one time. And when I lived on Maui, like my roommate Kaipo, he was a literal kahuna dude.
Right.
And they were studying poisonous sea snails as like a cancer treatment. But they didn't know how to find sea snails. So they came to our house because Kaipo knew how to get a hold of sea snails.
Whoa.
He knew where to find them and like how to catch them without getting stung or bit or whatever they do.
Dang. Yeah, it's like kahuna in Hawaii doesn't mean the same thing that it means at like Malibu.
Right.
Oh, he's just like the coolest cat on the beach. It's like, no, you're like a island wizard.
Yeah, I mean, it's like being a counselor / witch doctor / I don't know, nature boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wizard.
And more. Yeah, I guess wizard is apt.
Like,
but he was
you know your stuff.
I can't remember the term for it. I used to know it. But he was a certain type of kahuna that like really knew plant medicine.
Oh, that's cool.
Like he knew all kinds of stuff, but like his specialty that he learned from his grandmother, like they pulled him out of school to like get trained up as the kahuna.
Whoa.
And like his like what he was really knowledgeable was plant medicine. Man, I learned a ton from that guy.
I remember the one story about the banana plant.
Oh yeah, this Brazilian guy came to our house and he was a friend of ours, like really good surfer guy. He's really into like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff. But he came to our house with his shirt on top of his head just soaked with blood. And he wiped out and his fin went across the top of his head and just sliced his scalp open.
Mm-hmm.
And you could like see his skull and stuff. Is pretty nasty. But so like Kaipo was like, yeah, go that banana tree over there that's like pretty much dying. Kick that thing over. There's going to be this really stinky gunk like down in the base of the plant, like where all the leaves come together. Like bring me some of that and bring me some of the red clay, just the, you know, the dirt that was around.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all that stuff together and he like put it all in his palm and like spit in it and like made this slurry, put it on the guy's scalp. And then he took the guy's hair and braided it together.
Oh, nice.
To like close up the wound.
Yeah.
So he just made like this like butterfly bandage stitch thing by just braiding his hair together. Yeah.
Basically like a bandage.
That's surgical cornrow. So the guy came to our house like a couple days later and he had shaved all his hair off and it was totally healed up. Like there was a scar, but it was like, he was like, yeah, it's like, it's all better now. And I mean, it was like a matter of days.
That's crazy.
Like the next time we saw him. Yeah, I saw so many weird, like.
Yeah, didn't he do something like he had?
Would that be considered a miracle or what?
Yeah, or just island wizardry.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't there a banana thing, like similar thing, like you had?
Oh, I had a sore throat.
Yeah, you had all that water up in your sinuses.
He said pick a green banana and like squeeze the sap out of it and like kind of gargle that in your throat. Yeah, and it totally like wiped that out.
Nice.
And then another time I had a really bad stomach ache and he made me like swallow like a whole tablespoon of sea salt.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was challenging.
I'll bet.
And it felt really bad. And then I like let out this huge burp and I was like instantly better.
Dang.
Yeah, just so many weird things like that. No, the one thing with the sinuses was and it fits in a music podcast because our next door neighbor was Walter Becker from Steely Dan.
Oh yeah.
And his son would come over and take like plant medicine training from Kaipo.
Nice.
And he had a sinus infection. So Kaipo like mashed up a bunch of ginger root and had him lay down on our picnic table thing that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And like just put like dropperfuls of like fresh ginger mash for like right down his nose.
Oh.
Yeah. And like he was just like laying there for a second and then he just like sat bolt upright and like looked like his head was gonna like blow off.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then it was just like snot fountain.
Dang.
And it totally like fixed him up. But it's like, man, I mean, it definitely flushes all your sinuses out.
Right.
But it's kind of like a roto-rooter flush.
Right.
I was never brave enough to try it.
Oh, man.
He offered and I was like, no, my sinuses feel fine.
I'm good. Yeah, I guess I conflated all three of those stories in my mind. Yeah. One time I went to a sushi restaurant, like a really cool one. I don't think it's there anymore, but like several over the years, like really legit sushi chefs. It was one of the only places in town where you could get like real wasabi, not the green paste stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Horseradish paste.
Like the grated root.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was like a weekday, like the restaurant was empty. Like it was me and the person I was with and like one other table at the restaurant. And like, it was in one of those like strip mall restaurants where it's like pretty much a bowling alley. Like it's a long, narrow part of the building. Like got a little too much or maybe the right amount of wasabi. And
oh man,
and like
where it just starts capillary action, like into everything. Like I kind of like that feeling though.
Yeah, me too. But it was like whoa, like it's not like a spicy food, like a hot chili like thing. It's like,
yeah, it's like a chemical saturation or something.
Yeah, you get like this stun, like this tonic immobility thing, and like you kind of get like a really bad headache, or like an ice cream headache kind of feeling.
I've never had that.
Yeah, like ice cream headache feeling, and just like, whoa, okay, is this gonna pass? And then like it cleared up, and it was like my sinuses were just like instantly like roto-rooted out, and I was like,
nice,
like uh-oh, like I smell burning. And it's like I was like kind of had this like not quite panic attack, but like this kind of oh crap moment of just like, am I having a stroke? Like some people smell toast when they have a stroke. Like, did that like trigger something? And it was like, no, it doesn't smell like toast or like wood burning or anything. Like it smells like a wax. Like it smells like a burning candle. And like I looked around,
and then you realized, oh yeah, there's candles here. I just couldn't smell them before.
There was a candle on the other end of the building, like 200 feet away.
Oh man,
it was
super
like
sniffer powers.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it was like that episode of Gilligan's Island or something. It was like, holy moly.
One of my biggest life regrets, like we always talked about doing it and we always planned to do it and we were going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then like stuff happened where we all had to move. Like the place that I and Kaipo's girlfriend were working at went out of business, and like everything changed really quick. But I also regret that I never just got to go up on the mountain with Kaipo. Like we talked about just going up there for like a week and just like doing the total like Hawaiian bushcraft thing. Just bring a knife, just wear a pair of surf trunks and like a long sleeve shirt. And yeah, just bring a knife and we'll just like go up there for a week.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
And I never got to do that, but like, man, if I could go back, I would like, I do. No, let's do it now because we might not have the chance. But yeah, one of my regrets.
Yeah, one of the reasons I always shed a tear at that song with the Sweet Dreams and Flying Machines and Pieces on the Ground.
Oh, James Taylor.
James Taylor. Like, I'm not that big a James Taylor fan, but it's like that song is pretty good. And just the like, yeah, if you guys want to do something, we should do it. You never know.
Speaking of Flying Machines and Pieces on the Ground, my buddy Bud, like one of our things we all send each other is sub-Saharan African aviation videos.
Oh man.
And then like, I mean, we both like live on like kind of bigger rural properties. So we each have like a pretty good pile of like old Briggs and Stratton motors and like various scrap metal. So we're all telling each other, you know what you ought to build. Or like whenever we get in a situation, like, what would be the best way to take care of that? Well, like he had one of his big roof panels blow off his barn. And like this big, huge windstorm was coming through and he needed help fixing it. So I went over there and we just had like a big extension ladder. It was like, dude, it's way too windy. No, forget it. Like, it's not going to leak. There's tar paper under there and it's like all the way at the end. So like if anything gets wet, it'll just be like under the overhang. It won't get in your barn.
Right.
But then we were like looking at his junk pile and we started talking about, well, we should just make like we could build like a crane helicopter and just like, you know, you could like tie a rope to the bottom and we could just like lift you up there and you could like, you know, like swing down and then fix the roof.
Oh man.
But it's one of our favorite things. Just like looking at the crazy contraptions people come up with. It's like,
oh yeah,
dude, it kind of looks like a helicopter, but it's like pretty tinker toy. It's like, I'm not sure that's even safe to like stand around when it's running.
Right. Well, yeah, you can make fun of like Bush engineering, but there's a reason why people know who Ned Kelly is. Well,
the other cool thing is seeing like what people in Cuba, craft stuff out of.
Totally.
So cool.
Well, no, there's like two totally rad stories. Like I watched a bunch of stuff about the Buffalo bikes. Are you familiar with them?
No.
Dude, they're super cool.
I've seen Buffalo bikes, but is that what you're talking about?
They're this company, and all they make are like super duper simple, like super easy to repair bikes.
Okay, so it's not bikes with like a buffalo skin on top with the horns in the front.
No.
You ride around on it and it looks like you're riding a buffalo.
No, it's not guy on a buffalo.
Okay, that's the kind of buffalo bikes I've actually seen.
Okay, yeah,
or people will do with motorcycles.
Right. Yeah, no, this is a bicycle, and it's just like totally utilitarian, like OG. Like it has way more in common with like a Schwinn Varsity or whatever, but like even beefier. Easy to repair with like common tools and stuff. And because there's not a whole lot to them, and they like produce a bunch of them, they sell for like really cheap, like $150 to $200, and then people like buy them to like donate too, like it's a charity too. And then they also like train mechanics like out in the field. So like if it's a large enough area, they'll have like a shop and like a trained mechanic, like a local trained mechanic that like services all the Buffalo bikes in the area. It's really cool.
That's cool.
And so it's like, for people like kids who have to ride like 20 miles to go to school, or, over like dirt roads and stuff. Yeah. People who like, they milk their cow, but then they have to like carry this like 200-pound like milk jug. Like they have to get that to town before it like turns to cheese.
Yeah.
And so they can like sell it so they can make cheese or yogurt or whatever. So yeah, like they all have this rack that's like rated for 300 pounds. Super cool. But like one of the other like totally rad like Bush engineering success stories is Lion Lights. Do you know about Lion Lights?
Not familiar with those either. No.
Dude, it's super rad. Like this guy, he was part of like the Maasai tribe. So they live in like total lion country, and they're like cattle herders. And so like the kids, it's like, or like the oldest male son or whatever, it's like it's your job to like at night
chase the lions off.
Well, to like walk the perimeter, like outside the perimeter to like check for like just chase off lions and stuff.
Oh man.
And I forget what happened, but like this guy was like, okay, like it's only a matter of time till like I meet a lion who's not going to back down or something. Like somehow he got the like, I'm going to work smarter. And so he went to the shed like the next day, and it was like, they live out in the middle of nowhere. So it's like when something breaks, you don't throw it away. They're not a disposable culture like we are here in the US.
Right.
And so it was like, it's a bunch of broken electronics and, not even a bunch, like a few broken electronics. But so he cobbled together this light that would flash on and off in a random pattern. Like it wouldn't just strobe. It would like it would have like a random flashing pattern. And so he like put one of those up and like, cause like every night where he had to like, I think that might've been it. Like every night that he had to stay up and like check for lions, like he like would be all tired at school the next day.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, he built this, like, totally unmanned lion deterrent.
Yeah, where they think, oh, there's a human there checking.
Yeah,
checking
like
things.
shining a flashlight. And or just like, or walking with a flashlight or whatever. And so it was like a handful of these, like on the perimeter fence, like keeps lions away. And so somehow, I forget how, but like
lions are so dumb.
Well, they're cats. Yeah, those African hunting dogs would figure out that there was no human there right away. They wouldn't be deterred. They're dogs. But yeah, anyway, so
that won't work on sharks either.
Yeah, long story short, too late.
Oh man, this is like a tangent-rich environment.
I know. Yeah, so he has a company now called Lion Lights, and they manufacture them, and they're inexpensive, and like all they do is like simulate somebody walking around with a flashlight, so like kids can go to school and not be all tired the next day, and like they're safer.
That's
stuff.
Cool.
And so like, and,
I love simple solutions.
Yeah,
like
and then as a result, that it was like, oh, if there was like a lion, like a problem lion around, like they'd have to kill it to like keep their cattle safe. And it's like now that like it's good for humans and lions. Like what a rad invention that this guy made out of a bunch of like broken electronics in a shed.
Speaking of electronics and bicycles sent to Africa and dogs, there's a guitar shop, or there was a guitar shop in Berkeley. I think it's still there, owned by this guy named Fat Dog.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's like a Dane Electro historian. Like he bought like the remnants of the Dane Electro factory, or like all the stuff that got thrown out of the old Dane Electro factory.
Cool.
When it went to the dumps in New Jersey. So he made all these funky Dane Electro guitars and Silvertone guitars. But another thing he did that a lot of people don't know about, and he lived in Kenwood for a while too. I never got to hook up with him when he was in Kenwood when we lived there. But he would just get like shipping containers and fill them full of like pretty simple bike stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they were full, he'd send it over to Africa for people to just build bikes out of or use for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was at his shop one time and I noticed all the bike parts next to his shop. I was like, why is there so many bike parts there? And he told me what he did. And he had a high watt amplifier there that I really wanted. And so we worked out a trade for all these effects pedals that I had and for as many bicycle parts as I could cram into my Volkswagen Bug. That was pretty cool that he was willing to do that. It's like,
nice.
I can get more bike parts to Africa if I trade this high watt amp to this kid.
Nice.
What a cool dude.
Yeah, like benefiting everybody.
Yeah.
That's like this kid will have his amp. People.
Then I worked with this lady whose parents were professors at UC Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like my age, but she dated Fat Dog for a while.
Whoa.
Like, I don't know how we got on. I was like, oh, yeah, Berkeley. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I used to hang out there and blah, blah, blah. She's like, do you know Fat Dog? I was like, yeah, actually, I do. She was like, yeah, I used to go out with him. It's like, really? You're like my age. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
More power to you, Fat Dog.
Right? Yeah, if you're a cool dude. Yeah, I just watched Tombstone last night. So it's been way too long. Sam Elliott is in it, playing Virgil Earp and or Sam Elliott, like just being Sam Elliott. Like there's the scene at the beginning where like the Earp brothers all meet at the train station, and they all have like their wives and girlfriends with them, and like Virgil's wife is the youngest because it's like Sam Elliott, Kurt Russell, and Bill Paxton are the Earp brothers. Like, Virgil's got the youngest wife. She's like this totally hot, like blonde Irish lady. It's like, way to go, dude. Okay, I got a long way to go till I'm as cool as Sam Elliott, but better starting now than never starting at all.
Oh man. Well,
All right.
you know where a good place is to meet a lot of Irish women?
Ireland?
Yeah. It's probably the best place.
Probably. Yeah. That's my next international travel location.
Okay, about 20 minutes ago, weren't you saying something about
Yeah.
sharks aren't the only thing that can kill you in the ocean?
Yeah, so jellyfish. The most toxic creature in the ocean is the box jellyfish. My tongue's all tired from tangents. Tongue-tied, tangent tired. So yeah, this is Jellyfish by Shark in the Water. Do not hug the jellyfish.
Yeah, eventually we're probably going to have to do a jellyfish episode. I don't know if you've ever listened to those guys.
No.
Oh, yeah, they're a San Francisco band. A lot of people compare them, or don't compare them to, but compare the Lemon Twigs to Jellyfish. Yeah, I'll have to do a Jellyfish episode. They only put 2 albums out, but an interesting bunch of fellows. And their initial guitar player was the lead guitar player for the 3 O'Clock, which is another great band.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole Jellyfish thing. And there's some offshoots from Jellyfish, like TV Eyes and some other things that they've done subsequently that would be worth checking out.
Cool.
And speaking of Doran Beach and Jellyfish, one time we had like a big youth activity thing out at Doran Beach.
Yeah.
And we were playing football. I think me and Mike Switzer were like throwing a football back and forth. And like he did one of the kind of like go long things. And like I went long and did this beautiful, graceful, like Jerry Rice, like hero catch, you know, catch the ball, turn to like touchdown lightly. And my foot goes right in the middle of a washed up jellyfish. Like,
ugh, gross.
Big old blubber ball. Just, oh man. It was so gross. Like, luckily I didn't like wipe out or fall or anything, but like my foot just went like right in the middle of this big jelly mass.
Nasty.
Yeah, it was gross. And luckily I didn't get stung or anything. It was, you know, some days when all those jellyfish wash up, man, you gotta tread lightly out there on the beach.
Totally. Yeah, what are the things called? The pneumatophores or whatever? Their little stinging cells?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like crabs and like other animals will like, because like jellyfish are super weird. Like, you know that they're not really multicellular organisms. They're colonies of single cellular organisms.
Yeah, they're really bizarre creatures.
Yeah, and so like nematocysts, like the stinging cells, like they'll live like after the rest of the jellyfish dies. They'll keep on doing their thing, and so like other animals will like harvest the stinging cells from jellyfish and use them.
Oh, use them, huh?
Yeah.
Like
so there's like
weapons or something.
Yeah, there's like crabs that like make jellyfish stinging cell like boxing gloves.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how in the ocean, like a lot of toxins can like really kind of distill down. Like there's a lot of like parrotfish and stuff that'll like, they'll just chomp into coral and like chew it up to get the stuff out that they want.
Right.
But like they'll end up having toxins in them.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, that's one of the reasons how they figured out mold toxicity.
Bioaccumulation.
This doctor, Richie Shoemaker, he had a lady that had all these weird symptoms, and she had recently eaten some reef fish. And then like later down the road, he saw all these same kind of symptoms that were super weird. And he recognized it as toxicity, then figured out that it was from mold mycotoxins.
Yikes.
I kind of jumped the shark on giving you a toxin softball pitch because there's one more song in between
Toxic
to
shark.
get to.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of poisonous stuff out there.
Oh, totally.
It's all defense mechanisms, though. It's the same thing within plants, and it's the same thing for mold. You know, it's like a life form that can't really move somewhere. It has to like tell something to back off of its property.
Yeah, and like most molds kind of keep to themselves, but they're like extra dangerous if they're duking it out with like a different mold.
Yeah, if they're in like war footing.
If they
don't want to be around it.
If they're in, I can do this. Moldal combat with another mold.
Yeah, or even like a force field, like the way they industrially produce citric acid is by bombarding it with radio waves.
Whoa.
Or like certain frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So like they'll have a mold and then they'll bombard it with these frequencies, and its defense is to produce citric acid.
Oh, okay.
So it'll produce like 100 times more if they're bombarding it with these radio frequencies. So unfortunately, one of the things they've discovered is that mold has grown much more toxic. Well, one, with the fungicides that they put in house paints now, but then also two, with all the Wi-Fi and like wireless stuff going around. Like it's kind of the same thing to the mold. It's like,
gotta defend myself.
Yeah. Anyways, if you want to know more about mold toxicity, just shoot us an email. I'll like save you all the studies and stuff that have been done.
Well, yeah, we'll send you a link to our sister podcast, or one of our sister podcasts. Another
of our sister
podcasts.
From the Hear Me Out Bro Network.
Yeah. What would the name of your mycology podcast be, though?
Mold Matters.
Mold Release.
Oh, man. Breaking the Mold.
Yeah, Breaking the Mold. There you go. That's the one. Oh, man. Yeah, if you want more information about spores, molds, and fungus, listen to another one of
I'm your guy.
Listen to another one of our affiliate podcasts, Eric's own Breaking the Mold.
I'm your guy. You might even say I'm your fun guy.
Oh, man. Episodes bi-monthly. So we talked about how dangerous the ocean is, but even if you're not in the ocean, you're still not safe. Like,
yeah, wasn't the actual shark that Jaws was based on a bull shark that was like way upriver in Georgia or something like that?
New Jersey. And like, I always hate it when they do that, where it's like, oh, it's totally unexpected that like, oh, a shark up there. Like, you know, it's not like the Zambezi shark. Like bull sharks swim up rivers and like fight hippos, or well, like get their dorsal fins stove in by hippos. Like, it's not really a fight against a hippo. Like,
you mean the Zambezi sharks?
Yeah. Well, they're bull sharks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because like bull sharks can like retain salt. They have like that special organ or whatever that they can recycle salt, so they can survive in fresh water for like a super long time.
Yeah, but way longer than you would be comfortable with.
Yes. And so it's like there are stories of bull sharks that are like miles and miles, like hundreds of miles inland. There was one in the Missouri River that was north of St. Louis.
So like lakes would be safe, right?
Maybe, depending on
Lakes
the lake.
or small ponds.
Maybe. Depends. Like, if it has access to the sea, like, and it's...
All bets are off.
All bets are off.
Yeah, landlocked bodies of water only.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, the shark that Jaws was based on, it's like, yeah, it's a river, but it's like a tidal slough. Like, it's brackish water. And it was like 4 miles inland. But it was like tidal affected, like the Petaluma River. Like, it was a tidal slough.
So there's probably sharks in the Petaluma River too.
Probably. Yeah, sand sharks and stuff. You're never fully safe, no matter where you are, no matter how far inland you are. So, like...
Or what part of the world.
Yeah. Like, I remember seeing a thing about, like, there was, like, an underwater camera that caught, like, a footage of a Greenland shark, like, in the St. Lawrence River. It's
St. Lawrence?
Yeah. So, like, man, it's going to, like, be it. It's only a matter...
I swim in there all the time.
Yeah. It's like, it's only a matter of time till it gets to Niagara Falls. And it's like, they showed on a map for, like, 5 seconds where in the St. Lawrence River it was. It's like
at the river mouth or something.
Pretty much. It's like the mouth of the St. Lawrence is so wide at the mouth of the river that it's like, you're just parsing. Like, it's like, that's the Atlantic Ocean. Like, come on, jerks. It's like, that's a totally, like, man-made arbitrary, like, it'd be like if it's not the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America. It's the mouth of the Mississippi, the, like, space in between Key West and the Yucatan Peninsula. It's like, come on, guys. At what point is it not just ocean?
Right.
Anyway, we'll save all the geography for the geography podcast.
The Bahamas might be a good place to swim with sharks.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, that'd probably be the place to go to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your jam. If after all of our warnings, you still feel the need.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Get in the water.
You're never fully
sharks.
safe. You're never fully safe, so you might as well just, like, slather yourself in chum and dive right in. Like, you're no less safe. Because, like, think of the most relaxing place you could probably be. Like, I don't know, like a spa or something, or like a sauna.
Yeah, probably just like relaxing in a sauna, just feeling your muscles like kind of start to unwind a little bit.
Yeah, loosen up.
Relax and feel the warmth. And,
mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not relaxing. You're just
That'd probably be pretty safe.
You're just being tenderized. This is iguana, sauna, piranha.
Oh, man. Brother. Yeah. One of the first scary movies I saw in the theater was Piranha.
It's a good one.
Like 12 or 13 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But, like, you know what? Aquatic creature I probably fear the most. Like, I probably would, like, snorkel or, like, free dive with some sharks or something, or, like, you know, in the right situation.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the one aquatic creature I fear the most is the Vandalia serosa.
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
AKA Candiru.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought you were going to go for the Candiru.
It is the Candiru.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just giving the scientific name first.
Right.
Because that makes things even more scary.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No thanks.
Extremely rare, but has happened.
I wonder if there's probably more shark attacks than there are Candiru attacks.
Oh, easy. Yeah. I think there's been like...
Maybe. Well, you say easy, but do you know the stats?
I think there's only been like a dozen reported cases, and most of them were BS. I think there's only been one or two actual confirmed, like a surgeon had to cut it out.
Well, those are people that had access to medical facilities and who didn't die first.
Oh, true.
At least they're not toxic.
That's true.
But if you can't detox because you can't pee, then you would become toxic.
Right. Sounds awful. Yeah, it's like, how can you make a shark worse?
Give it two heads?
If it had two heads and you messed with its algorithm, so it just became bitter and angry at the world.
Aren't they already kind of that?
Yeah, most of them.
If you amped them up, though, like if you gave them meth.
Oh, yeah,
or
there
like,
you go.
Like cocaine bear, but like cocaine shark, like a two-headed cocaine shark.
Yeah, yeah.
That like got into some floating cartel stash.
Which I'm sure has probably happened.
Yeah, I would think that's probably highly probable.
Yeah. So this is Toxic Shark, rounding out the playlist. Subtle.
So this is a good introduction to those guys, but like probably for the full experience is to like go see them play some club somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
Preferably in a seaside town.
Yeah.
Where you smell the salt air when you get out of the club.
They play in Santa Cruz a lot. They were in Pacifica. They play a lot in San Jose and around the Bay Area. They're playing in Brentwood and somewhere else next month.
Yeah. If you see them on a flyer and it's nearby.
Yeah, go see them. They're a hoot.
Go check them out. Tell them the Hear Me Out Bro podcast said hi.
Yep.
They'll be like, what?
Who? Pretty silly band, but I mean, a
lot of fun.
They write cool songs. They're fun. And then like their stage show is just like completely ridiculous. So
I have some pretty sick riffs.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if any of the guys like play in any other bands. Like you kind of have to have a shtick now, but like I wonder if there are any other bands that they play in, because
I don't know. Because I mean, they're kind of like Ghost before Tobias Forge got outed, or like some of those other bands. Like nobody knows their real names. It's Narnar, Harpoonopus, and Seaweed Slammer.
Well, they had different names in that video.
Yeah, well,
like
they have
Claw Crusher, and I can't remember what the bass player was called.
They change it up to like protect their identity. Once people get too close to the scent, to the smell of blood in the water, they change up their names just to throw people off the trail.
Yeah, once there's too much chum in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Too many chums in the water.
Too many chums. So what do you think of Shark in the Water?
They're pretty cool. I can't wait to turn Ludwig onto them.
Nice.
He's such a Shark fanboy, and he likes that power metal kind of stuff too.
Yeah, it's just like they're right. If you just randomly like had a bunch of like bar mats or coasters and like just wrote random stuff on them and then threw them down and like inadvertently made a Venn diagram, like these guys would be right at the center of just like, you know, they're heavy enough, they're surfy enough, like their songs are like short and punchy, they're like totally goofy, like they don't take themselves seriously. They take not being serious very seriously. Yeah,
well, I think the whole Venn diagram thing may be why it was such a rabbit hole rich environment this week, possibly. Or maybe it's just us.
It's probably just us.
We start getting on like Shark Week, and then it's like all the red thread comes out. You start connecting dots.
Yep.
All right. Oh, so I'm hosting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, stay tuned for next week. It's going to be a special episode. We're not going to jump the shark just yet. Stay tuned. Stay out of the water. And thanks for listening.
Yep. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, we've reminded you that it's not. Thanks for listening. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Checking out music with my bro. Will it dig it? Yes or no? Here we go on with the show. The Hell Bro Podcast.
Speaking of an influx of bull sharks, new video shows a bull shark slamming into a jet ski around the same area where Friday's back-to-back shark attacks occurred. In the video, you can see the shark approach one of the jet skis, hitting it on its side. You can also see the shark jump out of the water towards the other jet ski. The user said in his post that he called the Walton County Sheriff's Office and alerted the people in the water. South Walton had yellow and purple flags flying today to warn beachgoers of high hazards.